So tonight's topic is honesty. And Nanda Mahima said, when you're honest, you get closer to your real self. And that seems kind of obvious. But what she means is that you are able to travel more quickly to the discovery of that self, to the discovery of your real nature when you are honest. Because lying is basically a distraction. It's something we do when we're in an unconscious state of trying to work with our pain and our fear and our aggression in some way that doesn't actually address the karmic tension directly. Right? We're just trying to get out of it by ignoring it, being ignorant of it. So we remain in ignorance when we lie. When we talk about, these things like not lying or being honest in this tradition, we're talking about something that's very functional and practical and has to do with only one thing, and that's waking up. So we're never having a discussion, that lying is evil or bad or unethical, and telling the truth or being honest is ethical and better than lying. We're not talking on that level of judgment about lies and truths. We're talking about functionally, how can we participate in life in a way that helps us to wake up more quickly. Right? So one way we can look at honesty, and honesty means that the words that are coming out of our mouths are representing their expressions of how we really feel and what we're really thinking. It means our actions have honesty. Actions also have honesty, not just words. So we're acting in alignment with how we're really feeling, what we really feel like doing, and what we really don't feel like doing. And feeling like doing something and not feeling like doing something are not only a matter of like something is pleasurable and some other thing is unpleasurable. Of course, we feel like doing lots of things that are not, taking a swim or drinking a pink drink while lying on a beach. There's lots of things we feel like doing that are hard or difficult or even unpleasant. So basically, authentic action or honest action is when we're acting in alignment with what we feel is the best thing to be doing in that moment for us, for others. And then, of course, our expression of our emotions that can also, we need to be honest with that. That we're not pretending to be excited about something that we really aren't interested in. That's a very common experience, right? So all this basically boils down to that we're expressing our condition through body, speech, and our energy, our emotions, in an honest way. And we're not trying to manipulate our own view of ourselves. We're not trying to manipulate anybody else's view of us, right? And we're also being respectful of other people's unique dimension. We're not speaking and acting and displaying emotions in certain ways because we're afraid of what other people might do or not do. One of the biggest reasons why we're dishonest is because we don't want to face the consequences of what someone else might do or not do or feel or not feel if we're honest. And basically this is the most fundamental form of disrespect for other people. When we are not honest, we are fundamentally expressing disrespect for other people. Even when it's out of fear, we all feel fear. We're all worried. Oh no, if I tell so-and-so what I really feel or what I really think, what will so-and-so do? Oh my God, things might spin out of my control. They might actually decide they have to take some action that I didn't want them to take, right? But when we're trying to control other people's actions, we're basically saying, I'm going to take away your right to act in your own best interest, right? To have your own unique dimension. Even if it's, you think the person's response is going to be crazy or some other thing that you don't think is healthy, that's still their absolute right to have their own unique responses to everything. So getting back to the functionality of honesty, and honesty is one of the ways in which we protect and also we preserve and also build up what's called our ojas. So ojas is a term that comes out of Ayurveda. And it's in the way that ghee is the essence of milk. Ojas is the essence of all the tissues of the human body. It's like the ghee of the human body. And ojas is, there's different subtle and more gross forms of ojas, but ojas is related to our protective aura. It's related to our immune system. It's related to our basic optimism in life. And when our ojas is depleted or damaged in some way, or we're not replenishing it, then we're having an experience of not being able to maintain our joyousness and our integrity. So when you see people who seem to have like a shine, that's a product of ojas, right? Or when people can kind of, hard things happen in life, but it doesn't really throw them too much. They go through their grief, but then they kind of seem to bounce back quicker than a lot of other people. That's like very healthy ojas. Or just simply, not getting every passing virus, right? So the sense that your sort of fundamental integrity and juiciness and aura, a feeling of aliveness is related to ojas. So actually being honest with yourself and with other people is one of the main ways that you can conserve and build up more ojas. Lying actually damages and depletes your ojas. So that's number one thing that reason why we would want to be honest. And of course, you have to be honest with yourself first. I would have to say that the first qualification for being on this kind of a path, this kind of a direct realization path, is the willingness to self-reflect honestly. We're all going to be, coming to any spiritual tradition with a degree of self-subterfuge, things we don't know about ourselves, ways that we're behaving that we have rationalizations for that aren't really true, ways that we're trying to manipulate other people's view of us. And so we're all doing that. We're not all coming to traditions already being totally honest, right? Otherwise, there wouldn't be the need for any of these traditions. But there has to be that willingness to self-reflect, the willingness to go into your self-subterfuge and to look at the ways that you manipulate other people with your emotions, with your speech, and with your activity. So that has to be there. There has to be a desire, sort of an intuition that this isn't really maybe the best way for you to function in life. So it is this willingness to self-reflect is that qualification that, myself as a teacher, when people, ask me if they can study in this tradition with me, that's one of the main things I look for, is somebody willing to self-reflect. Or can they take reflection? Right? So conserving ojas and promoting ojas is a big reason, a functional, relationship between honesty and that is very important. And then honesty is part of the ground of our practice. It's part of what we're resting on. We just go, Not resting in on our own ground in our practice is really exhausting. It's like you're sitting there on your cushion, but you're running. You're running your story. You're running your story about how you need to be this kind of spiritual practitioner or that kind of spiritual practitioner. You're running your story about how you're getting stronger and stronger every day and everything's so amazing. You know, that what happens when it's not amazing, you know, when you like on your cushion going, whoa, don't feel strong today. then you run another story that says that you're failing. You know, all of these things are these forms of not being honest about your condition or trying to get away from the reality of practice, which is, as Ma said, coming and going. We're always coming and going, in and out of states of more or less tension, and slowly, slowly less tension over time. But we need to be able to relax in that condition and be honest about what we're feeling just in a normal, ordinary way every day, right? Just a normal way. So that's, you know, honesty, and or at least the willingness to be honest, to look at your real condition and look at your defensiveness, right? And look at the walls that you've built around yourself and just start to relax those is a primary ground of the authenticity of our practice. And then the other thing that honesty is for, as I already mentioned, is for respecting ourselves and other people. It's fundamentally respectful to be honest to other people and let them do what they like with their lives, knowing as much honesty as you can possibly give them. Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche said something wonderful, which is, I often repeat, which is that there's no territory to defend. What is it that we're defending when we're dishonest? When we try to assume a spiritual position that we don't really embody. That's a form of dishonesty that happens in a lot of traditions with students and teachers too. So what are we defending when we try to tell people we're more skillful than we really are at something, or we try to hide the fact that we're scared? We don't, you know, we're afraid to talk to people because we don't want them to know that we're scared. What are we defending? We're defending this collection, you know, this rather incoherent collection of karmas. What is it that we're defending? The very thing that we say we're trying to release ourselves from. So we have to have a sense of humor too while we're attempting this project of being more honest, and realize that the dishonesty is actually going to defend that very self that is imprisoning us, that's causing all the suffering. And it's just a habit. This dishonesty is a habit. So we can form a new habit of honesty, of just letting ourselves be seen more. It's very, very important to look at ourselves more, but also to let ourselves be seen more. And one of the primary functions of the teacher is so that you can have an experience of being seen and it's still all okay. Still all okay, even though the teacher is seeing the thing that you thought you didn't want anybody to see. And then slowly, slowly, we can build confidence and realize that everything that life is fine. Every condition that we're in is fine. We can feel that in an ordinary way, just recognizing, as I say a lot, we're all in the same boat. You know, we can, when we hear how other people feel, and we're in a community where people are trying to be more honest, we can hear that we're all in the same boat. We don't feel so isolated. So that's just a very ordinary benefit of being honest, but it's important. And we can start to feel how exhausting it is when we sneak around, trying to pull the wool over our own eyes and everybody else's. And we can start to laugh at that a little bit, you know, how futile it is. It's really futile. And then on, you know, a more expansive level, we can begin to feel that everything that this reality has this kind of adorable aspect also. even our karmas. Right? That there's this wild, the word that comes to mind, I don't know how many people know this word, fecundity, this productivity, this wild variation that's going on here. Right? But we can begin to feel that all of those variations have a kind of equality. And we can begin to relax even at a much more profound level when we start to experience that. So honesty is something that everybody should be thinking about and thinking about how you can just take a chance on being more honest.